Welcome back, everybody. This is Latin's Fight Picks. Today we will go over the fight card of UFC 303, Pereira vs Prochazka 2, this June 29th, Saturday. So let's start. As usual, we will start off with the first fights of the night, and we will move on to the main event. So let's start this. First fight of the night, Ricky Simón versus Vinicius Oliveira. Ricky Simón, 5'6", 69-inch reach, 20 wins, 5 losses, 31 years old. Vinicius Oliveira, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach, 20 wins, 3 losses, 28 years old. This fight is fairly straightforward. Vinicius Oliveira, he's decent on the ground. He's a great striker. He's mainly a striker. Ricky Simón, he's pretty well-rounded, but he wants to take it to the ground. He's primarily a wrestler. I wouldn't say he's the best grappler. You know, he does take people down. I think the control time is questionable, but he is strong, very powerful, can take a punch. He's durable. Vinicius Oliveira, I think he's shown the last fight he had against, that Albanian fellow, what's his name? And I bet on him, and he was actually winning the fight, and then he gassed. So he ended up losing the fight and getting stopped. He actually had won the first 2 rounds. And it was Sapai. And I think the game plan is fairly simple. Take Oliveira down. And I think if Sapai can do it, I think the game plan for Simón is fairly simple. Strike with him, take him down, strike with him, take him down, and win on the judges' scorecards. So the pick will be Ricky Simón. He's got a lot of UFC experience. You know, he's very tough, very durable, he's very good, and I think he's at a higher level than Oliveira. And apart from some kind of weird KO, I can't see Ricky Simón gassing. Ricky Simón will be the pick. Moving on. Tsuruya versus Carlos Hernandez. Tsuruya, 5'6", 68-inch reach, 9 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 22 years old. Carlos Hernandez, 5'9", 67-inch reach, 9 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, 30 years old. Tsuruya is a huge favorite in this one. If you watched him on the road to the UFC, the guy's super talented, non-stop takedown, non-stop jiu-jitsu, non-stop jiu-jitsu. He's going to go submission after submission, position after position, transitions and seamlessly. Very talented. You know, seems like he's fairly durable. He's very quick. And this is going to be his path to victory. I don't think he's going to stand there and strike with Hernandez. Hernandez is not a bad striker. Hernandez is a good wrestler too, so I think he's going to cause him a lot of problems. I'm surprised that the line is so far off, even though I think they've kind of set up Tsuruya with Hernandez to do the grappling and to do the wrestling and to kind of, win it on points. I can't see for minus 525 where Tsuruya is going to dominate Hernandez. I think she's going to win. I think he hasn't fought the level of UFC fighter yet as Hernandez. I think Hernandez has got great takedown defense. I don't know if he can keep it up. But then again, you see Tsuruya, who can really go for it for the first 2 rounds, can gas in the 3rd round as well. So I think it's going to be a closer fight than the odds predict. I'm going to pick Tsuruya because I think he's just going to be quicker, going to be younger. I think they've kind of set this fight up so he can win. But he is going to be in danger. Hernandez can throw punches and he can scramble out of positions. And going into the 3rd round, we don't know what Tsuruya is going to be like after the, 20th takedown or exchange on the ground. So the pick is going to be Tsuruya. There's a lot of unknowns with him. This is going to answer a lot of questions. I mean, he's a high confident pick because he should win. But I got a question marks because the odds are way too high. And Hernandez is no slouch as far as wrestling. So be careful with this. I've got him at a high confidence pick with a question mark that, possibly even a sprinkle on Hernandez might not be a bad idea. Tsuruya is going to be the pick. Moving on. Andre Arlovski versus Martin Buday. Andre Arlovski, 6'3", 77-inch reach, 34 wins, 23 losses, 45 years old. Martin Buday, 6'4", 77-inch reach, 13 wins, 2 losses, 32 years old. Martin Buday is big, he's durable, he's tough. He doesn't take things to the ground. Arlovski doesn't take things to the ground. And I think Buday's a hard guy to take down to the ground. I don't think Arlovski's wrestling is really going to play into it. I think It's going to be Arlovski skirting around to the outside, trying to outpoint Buday, and maybe Buday might have the bigger shots, but Arlovski's going to try land, you know, one more shot or two more shots and try to outpoint Buday. This could be his retirement fight. He's 45 years old. You know what? He's a huge underdog. I'm going to pick Arlovski. He's won a lot of split decisions. This might be his last fight. I don't have a lot of confidence in Buday. I think he's very slow. I think he can get outstruck. And I think Arlovski's just the kind of guy who can be skirting around on the outside, just, you know, pot-shotting him. And Buday's not a knockout guy. And if he was, I would say Buday, because Arlovski will get KO'd. But that's not Buday's style. Buday is just kind of, I don't know, just kind of throws punches. He's a little slow, and he doesn't have knockout power. Mind you, anybody can get knocked out. But Arlovski's going to be the pick for one more shot at this at plus 210. Let's do it. Hopefully he wins this by a split decision. Moving on, Waterson Gomez versus Jourdain Robertson. Waterson Gomez, 5'3", 62-inch reach. 18 wins, 12 losses, 38 years old. Jourdain Robertson, 5'5", 63-inch reach. 13 wins, 8 losses, 29 years old. Jourdain Robertson's going to be a little bigger. She did move down in weight. She's excellent on the ground. Waterson does like taking people to the ground. It might not be a good game plan because Jourdain Robertson is good off her back, good submissions. And Waterson has been submitted before, you know, with a guillotine choke. Was it guillotine choke? Yeah. So I went kind of back and forth on this one. This is a really close fight. It's a super low confidence pick. I like Robertson. She's young. She's durable. She's tough. She's not going to get KO'd. But the problem is, I saw when she was fighting, what's her name, Ricci. Ricci kept taking her down, jumping back up, and hitting her with shots. She couldn't even lay a hand on her. Like, she was just so much slower. And the thing is Waterson, if anything, she's actually fast. And she is durable. She is tough. She might retire. She's 38 years old. I don't know if she's past her prime, but, you know, she's fought the best of the best, and those are the girls she's losing to. I don't think Robertson's the best of the best. I don't know if she's ever going to be best of the best. But I have a feeling that Robertson might be able to take her down, but if she can't and Gomez could stuff some takedowns, I think she's going to be the fastest striker from the outside and win this by decision. So I'm going to go on a limb and pick Waterson to beat Robertson due to the speed. Moving on to those are the early prelims. Moving on to the prelims. Peyton Talbott versus Jourdain Ghemmouri. Peyton Talbott, 5'10", 70.5-inch reach, 8 wins, 0 losses, 25 years old. Jourdain Ghemmouri, 5'9", 69-inch reach, 12 wins, 2 losses, 28 years old. He's minus 1,600. This guy's going to destroy, apart from some crazy thing happening, Talbot's going to destroy this guy. It's not going to be close. The last guy Talbot beat decisively is 10 times better than this guy. I don't even know why they're giving him this fight. He's got to be fighting up. He's way too good. He's way too good for this. It's minus 1,600. I mean, well, why even put this fight on? It's just kind of a joke. So let's just move on. Talbot's going to be the pick, high confidence. Charles Jourdain versus Gene Silva. Charles Jourdain, 5'9", 69-inch reach, 15 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, 28 years old. Gene Silva, 5'7", 69-inch reach, 12 wins, 2 losses, 27 years old. This Jourdain was the favorite. Now it's a pick'em. And it should be a pick'em, but there's a lot of variables. First of all, we've seen Charles Jourdain beat some guys and lose against some guys, and it's hard to tell who he's gonna. It's hard to tell like what Jourdain's gonna come out. Sometimes he comes out with these submissions out of nowhere and wins the fight. Fights that I think he's gonna lose, and sometimes he comes close and doesn't quite get the decision. But he is tough. He is durable. He's fairly fast. You know, he comes out to fight. Sometimes he's a little too entertainment orientated rather than winning the fight. So this fight could be a danger to him because Gene Silva's got a lot of power. He's pretty good on the ground. But guess what? We haven't seen Gene Silva. Who is Gene Silva? He beat Wilson, you know, Weston Wilson. So we don't really know anything about Gene Silva. He could come in here and destroy Jourdain, or he can come in here and just lose a decisive decision against Jourdain. I can't see Jourdain knocking him out because Silva seems like he's that durable. I think Jourdain's not going to get knocked out. I think this is going to go the first full rounds. I think Pickham's a good way to rate this. But the fact is that we don't know enough about Silva, and what we do know about Jourdain, he's a little unpredictable in who he fights and how he fights and when he gets his victories. So I'm going to pick Jourdain. He's going to be slightly taller. We know he's durable. We know he's good on the ground. We know he can strike. We don't know that about Silva, and we don't know what level he's at. So it's going to be a close fight. I mean, or it could not be a close fight. So, but I'm going to go with Jourdain. He's got the more UFC experience. Mid-level confidence to actually no, low-level confidence. Jourdain over Silva. Moving on, Cub Swanson versus Andre Fili. Cub Swanson, 5'8", 70-inch reach, 29 wins, 13 losses, 40 years old. Andre Fili, 5'11", 74-inch reach, 23 wins, 11 losses, 34 years old. I mean, the obvious difference is the 40-year-old. Swanson is a little older. He is a little slower. He's not quite the same Cub Swanson, but he still fights at a really high level. And if you're not really good, you're not going to be able to beat him. And plus, the judges seem to love, after I saw the Dawa Do decision, the judges, I think, love Swanson. So, Andre Fili, he did get KO'd by Ige. Give him a pass on that. I mean, Ige is powerful. He can KO anyone. I think his chin is durable. It's not as durable, but I don't think it's going to be, that's going to be the threat from Swanson. I think Swanson, you know, throws lots of punches. You know, he's fairly smart with his striking. He's pretty good on the ground. I mean, this is going to be a decision fight. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be really close, actually. The -245 for Andre Fili, I think he fights closer than that. As long as Fili's fighting a little bit more from distance and tries to use his height and reach, it's going to be an easier fight for him, as long as he doesn't get too close. But Swanson, he's tricky. He's a veteran. But Andre Fili's going to be the pick. I think he's younger. I think he's hungrier. Just going to be the longer fighter. I think they're about the same level. So Andre Fili is going to be the pick. Moving on, Joe Pyfer versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Joe Pyfer, 6'2", 75-inch reach, 12 wins, 3 losses, 27 years old. Marc-Andre Barriault, 6'1", 74-inch reach, 16 wins, 7 losses, 34 years old. You know, I guess I was a low-key Joe Pyfer hater. I bet against him in the last fight, mind you. It worked out. Everybody was, you know, Joe Pyfer truther. And I really was looking for a reason to bet Marc-Andre Barriault. And for all intents and purposes, this is a lot closer fight than the -300 shows at Joe Pyfer. Once this fight gets, if the fight gets past the first round, there's going to be a lot of question marks. But looking at, you know, the UFC, they really want to hype up Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer just fought a super high-level guy. He went to 5 rounds. He did lose a decision. He started to gas in the 4th and the 5th round. You know, this is not a 5-round fight, so it's a 3-round fight. So I can't see him gassing. Marc Barriault is not going to gas. He's going to keep pursuing him. I think Joe Pyfer in the last fight had to kind of chase the guy around. He's not going to have that problem with Barriault. Barriault's in your face right in front of you. And I think he's going to be, you know, there to be hit by Pyfer. Pyfer does have a lot of power. I think maybe able to get him out of there. I wanted to pick Barriault just because of the cardio, but I think he's just too hittable. And apart, but then again, if Joe Pyfer doesn't knock him out or take him out in the first round, then it's going to be closer than we think, because I think Pyfer will slow down. But I don't know if he's going to slow down in the second round. I think either way, Pyfer either wins a decision, you know, 29-28, or he, you know, knocks out Barriault in the first round. So Pyfer's going to be the pick. Moving on to the main card. What are we doing for time? Oh man, we are going through this fast. Main card. First fight of the main card. Ian Machado Garry versus Michael Venom Page. Ian Machado Garry, 6'3", 74.5-inch reach, 14 wins, 0 losses, 26 years old. Michael Venom Page, 6'3", 79-inch reach, 22 wins, 2 losses, 37 years old. The age is going to be the big factor here. You know, Venom Page at some point will start to slow down. I saw him last fight. Didn't seem like he was slowing down. He seemed very tough, very durable, very agile, very long. He's going to be a tough guy to fight. This is the biggest guy Machado Garry has fought. I think he's going to have huge problems with him because all the advantages that normally Garry has, Page has. He's going to be faster. He's going to be longer. So Machado Garry is going to have to try takedowns. But who hasn't tried taking Page down? This is what he does, is defend takedowns. And I was never sure exactly how good Page was until he fought, what's his name? You guys already probably know it. Holland. Yeah, I was really impressed with how good he looked against Holland. And this is going to be a good fight. It's going to be a close fight. But I think Page is going to be too fast for Garry. I don't think Gary's going to be able to take him down. I don't think Gary's going to be able to bully him. Page moves around. Just like Garry can move around, Page can move around. He's got good movement. As far as leg kicks, I mean, who hasn't tried leg kick Page? You know, see, he seems like he survives it pretty good. I think Page does things better. I think he's at the end of his career. I think he's 37. Those are the big question marks. But realistically, I think Page beats Garry in this. A lot of people are picking Garry. He is the favorite. I'm going to go with the underdog. I think Page is going to surprise some more people this week. Page is going to be the pick. Moving on. Mayra Bueno Silva versus Macy Chaisson. Mayra Bueno Silva, 5'6", 66.5-inch reach, 10 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 32 years old. Macy Chaisson, 5'11", 72-inch reach, 10 wins, 3 losses, 32 years old. I went back and forth on this one. This is a pick'em for a reason. Mayra Bueno Silva, I bet against her against Pennington, just because of the cage fighting and stuff. And I was surprised at how bad she looked after the first round. Actually, I was worried. First round, she looked really good. Then all of a sudden, she just gassed out. I heard she was sick. Who knows, right? But it was a 5-round fight. She didn't look that great. I think she's a little slow, but, you know, she's tough. You're not knocking her out. You're not going to stop her from marching forward. She's going to keep coming at you. And, you know, and she's got some powerful strikes and powerful kicks. Kind of like Macy Chaisson. Macy Chaisson, you know, a skirt around the outside. She's got powerful strikes, powerful kicks from the outside. She's going to be longer. She's going to get to her faster. And I think Chaisson, she fights a good game plan. Maybe she'll be able to outpoint Bueno Silva. But I think Bueno Silva is going to try close the distance and get to the fence. Now, when they get to the fence, I think that grinding style of fight will play in Bueno Silva's favor. The takedowns for Chaisson will not exist. Because if she goes to on the ground with Bueno Silva, I think she can submit her. Chaisson's got a lot of long limbs, long legs, long arms, long neck. I think at some point Bueno Silva's going to submit this girl. I wanted to go with Chaisson. I thought if she could survive and skirt around the outside, she's going to outpoint this girl. But I have a feeling at some point Silva's really hungry and really angry. She's going to corner her and grab a hold of her, and I think she's going to be able to submit Chaisson. And she has been submitted with a choke before. Exactly the kind of chokes Silva likes. As far as takedowns, Silva did improve on her takedowns. She took Pennington down, and that was kind of weird because she's got such good BJJ, but she does terrible takedowns. I would imagine she's working on it, especially after the last fight. And she's 32 years old. I think she's tough. She's durable. She's not going to get taken out of there. It's going to be a really good fight. It's going to be clash of styles. Long girl trying to fight on the outside against a girl trying to come in and strike and land big bombs and get a hold of her. So part of Chaisson's game is the defense. I don't think it's a good spot for her. I think she gets taken down. I think she is going to lose by submission. Maria Bueno Silva is going to be the pick. Low confidence. Moving on. Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze. Anthony Smith, 6'4", 76-inch reach, 38 wins, 19 losses, 35 years old. Roman Dolidze, 6'2", 76-inch reach, 12 wins, 3 losses, 35 years old. Both 35. Very different 35. Smith is 38 wins, 19 losses. It's a he's way older in there. His chin, I'm questioning his chin. You know, he's fighting a guy moving up from middleweight to heavyweight, which is supposed to play in his favor. But you got a guy like Roman Dolidze who's just a tank. He was a tank at middleweight. I think he's still going to be a tank at heavyweight. I think he does slow down maybe a little bit in the third round, but so does Smith. I think it's going to be Smith's going to try fight him from range. Dolidze's very tough, very durable. He's going to try close the distance. If he lands some big punches, he's going to hurt Smith. If he goes to the ground, Smith is normally dangerous on the ground. I think Dolidze is more dangerous on the ground. Dolidze moving up from light, middle to heavy. You know, I was wondering, trying to make sense of it, but you know what? It makes sense because I think Roman Dolidze is a little on the slow side when he's fighting at middleweight. These guys are smaller and they're quicker. I think he's going to be just as fast as these light heavyweights because he's kind of a lumbering brute. But now when he's fighting at light heavy, that's what you're going to be fighting against. So I think the speed is not going to be a disadvantage like it was at the lighter weight classes for Dolidze. I still think he's going to be powerful. I think he's going to have his way with Smith. I think the last fight we had, Smith fought a young guy who should have had his way with Smith, but went for a takedown and got submitted. That submission is not going to be open with Dolidze because Dolidze is going to be the one possibly submitting Smith on this one. Even though Smith is, you know, good at defense, probably won't submit Smith, but he'll definitely threaten to submit Smith. And I think Dolidze is going to win this. I got a high degree of confidence. A lot of people are picking Smith, but I don't know, man. I just think he's going to be taken out in this one. I think he's going to lose, and I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be close, but I think it's going to be decisive. I think Dolidze is going to be way more powerful. I think he's just better. So, moving on. Dolidze is going to be the pick. You know, mid to high level confidence on this one. Moving on to the co-main event, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. Brian Ortega, 5'8", 69 inch reach, 16 wins, 30 losses, 33 years old. Diego Lopes, 5'11", 72.5 inch reach, 24 wins, 6 losses, 29 years old. A lot of people picking Lopes. Lopes is the favorite. I don't know. I don't see it. Mind you, I picked against Lopes last time and he took the guy out. Who did he fight? It was a bad call. He looked phenomenal with his striking. But he fought Youssef, who's not a bad fighter. Youssef's pretty good, but questionable chin. He got taken out pretty easily by Lopez. I mean, he looked good, but he hit a guy with a questionable chin. I don't have any questions about Ortega's chin. I think he can take his shots. I think Lopez is going to be able to take his shots. I think this is going to be good on the ground. It's going to be fantastic scrambles on the ground, good on the feet, good striking. Both of them are durable. Both of them are tough. Lopes is going to have the reach advantage, height advantage. I don't think this is the first for Ortega. Ortega won't have a huge, massive ground game advantage. But you know what? It's going to be a good back and forth. But, you know, Lopes has had a huge ground advantage against everyone else. I don't think he's going to have a huge advantage on Ortega. I think it's going to be well matched. So it's going to go on the feet. And I've seen Ortega fight the higher level opponent. Even though Lopes is coming up and he's, you know, he looks great. I mean, he's fought Youssef. And you're talking about Ortega, who fought Volkanovski, who fought Holloway. He fought Yair Rodriguez. Beat Yair, got doctor stoppage against Holloway, took Volk 5 rounds. I mean, he's the underdog. I mean, I'm going to go with Ortega with the experience. He's 33 years old. He's not over the hill. He's more proven to me. Ortega's going to be the pick on this one. It's going to be a great fight, I'll tell you that much. But, yeah, we'll see where Lopes is at that point, whether he's going to be challenging for the title or not. If he beats Ortega, he's going to get a title shot. Moving on. Alex Pereira versus Jourdain Prochazka, the main event. So, Alex Pereira, 6'4", 79 inch reach, 10 wins, 2 losses, 36 years old. Jourdain Prochazka, 6'3", 80 inch reach, 30 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 31 years old. I said this before. For a while, I was betting against Pereira because I kept thinking at 36 years old and a couple bad knockouts, he's going to start to fade and show some wear and tear. I remember I bet on Prochazka when he fought Alex. And I thought the fight was stopped short. I think it was, stopped quick. I think Prochazka might have had an opportunity to recover. I think it was a little quick stoppage, but I was so impressed at Pereira with those calf kicks. And it's going to have the same battle. Is Pereira going to, you know, cripple Prochazka before Prochazka lands the KO punch? It's going to be one of those fights. And ever since that fight, I stopped betting against Pereira because I'm there like, well, I don't think the chin is the issue. But with Prochazka, you never know. He could land those crazy punches. It could get extended. You know, this is a very, very close fight. It should be, it's lined somewhat close. I think it should be closer because Prochazka's hungry, and you know how these fights are. You can never, just because you've had the outcome come one way doesn't mean it's going to come out the same way again, because Prochazka could land an extra shot that he didn't land the last time before his leg gives out, and then all of a sudden Pereira could be on skates, and you know, you never know what will happen at that point. Prochazka does go for the kill. He does have knockout power, but I tell you what, I'm not going to bet against Pereira because when I lost every time, and ever since I changed it, I've been winning. So Alex Pereira, I think if he's exactly the same fighter, I think this fight plays out pretty much the same way. And apart from some knockout shot, Prochazka's not going to beat Pereira. I think it's going to go 5 rounds. Well, actually, oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds. I think someone's going to get taken out at some point. I think the fight's going to go, you know, within 3 rounds, 4 rounds. It's going to end, let's say, fight doesn't, it goes below 3.5 rounds. That would be a good bet, because somebody's going to get taken out between leg kicks and knockout punches being thrown. Someone's going to get taken out. I don't think these guys want to be here that long. They just want to get this done. Both of them are finishers. So Pereira's going to be the pick. You know, mid to low level confidence, just because it's going to be such a wild card. These guys can KO each other. Both of them can KO each other. So, I mean, Alex did it last time, regardless if he thought it was a quick stoppage or not. Prochazka could do it this time. You know, and, you know, again, I'm always worried about the 36-year-old chin of Pereira in the back of my mind, but so far it hasn't come to fruition. So we'll see. It's low level confidence. Pereira is going to be the pick. Let's go to the board. How's that look? So maybe I'll move it forward. Should I move it forward a little bit? Yeah. How's that? You got it right. Looks good. All right, not financial advice. Bet only what you can afford to lose. These are my picks. Do your own research. See if you agree with my picks and see how they line up with what you believe. You can take these as individual bets, or you can make parlays out of them. I've gone for the most confident to the least confident, whatever that means. But in my eyes, what the most confident is. So yeah, so let's start. Talbott minus 1600, not even worth betting, but he's definitely the most confident. This guy should win this fight. Tsuruya, I got him as second most confident because I think they set him up to beat this guy, but at minus 525, not worth betting. If anything, you're better off sprinkling a little bit on Hernandez, because this guy's not a proven commodity. I don't think, I mean, either he's going to blow him out of the water and submit him in the first round, but after, if it gets out of the first round, I'd start to worry. But Tsuruya is going to be the pick. Hernandez is definitely live betting dog just because of all the unknowns, and he is a good wrestler. He actually, I remember when Taira tried to take him down, Hernandez got back up. He couldn't keep him down. So, but then Taira went on to knock him out. That's not Tsuruya. He doesn't have that kind of power in striking. So it was hard to tell how Hernandez was going to be later on in the fight. But for the first part of the fight, he defended the takedowns very well against Taira. And Taira is a high-level guy. So this is why the question is, Hernandez, I think, is a live dog to pull some kind of upset up. So be careful with that one. Nevertheless, it'll be my second most confident pick, whatever that means. But a huge favorite, not even worth betting, so I got him all over here. Dolidze, you know, a lot of people picking Smith. I don't see it. I don't see Smith beating this guy. This guy is too tough, too durable. Yeah, Dolidze is going to be just a bull in there, and Smith gets hurt way too easy now. So yeah, Dolidze is going to be the pick. Pyfer, you know, they're setting this fight up. They want Pyfer to win. Pyfer just fought a guy at a much higher level than Barriault. You know, Barriault's there in your face. He's not running away. He's not taking you down. Well, he might be taking you down, but he's more against the cage, just trying to grind on you and tire you out. I think Pyfer takes him out. This is kind of a setup fight for him. Simone's a much higher level against Vinicius. Vinicius already is susceptible to takedowns. Simone's going to win that one. Fili, I mean, he's fighting an older veteran. It's going to be close. I think Fili's going to take over just because he's a younger guy. He's longer. He's going to be able to pick him apart from the outside, and he's a veteran too. You know, he's not just somebody coming in there. So Fili's going to be the pick. He's going to have to fight a smart fight. He's going to win that decision. Arlovski is my biggest underdog pick. You know, I think he's got one more split decision in him. You know, Buday he's just not good. And Arlovski, he's a better technical striker than most of the heavyweights. He's just too old, and he's just chinny. So as far as technical striking goes, he's a better technical striker. And he's fighting against a guy who's not a KO guy, who doesn't have a lot of, doesn't seem like he KOs anyone. So Arlovski's going to be the pick. Venom Page, I think he's got the attributes of Garry, and I think he's going to just be better and outpoint Garry. And I think he's going to win this on decision. Ortega, you know what? He's proven to me that he's tough, he's durable, he's well-rounded. Lopes, he's not proven yet. He beat Youssef. That's it. Granted, he knocked out Youssef. Still a lot of question marks as far as I see it. I think Ortega, yeah. I mean, I got to go with Ortega. He is the underdog. Yeah, I think it's the right play here. Starting to get to the lower level confidence. Pereira, Prochazka. I'm picking Pereira. Be careful with this one. With a KO for the underdog. I'd be very careful with this. I'm picking Pereira. Be very careful. Prochazka does have a path to victory. These fights never end up the same way twice. I'm thinking they will one more time. But Prochazka's hungry, and he's going to be hunting. He's going to go out there, and he's going to and he's just going to go for it. So yeah, be very careful with this. Pereira's going to be the pick. Now going on to this pick'em with Jourdain. I mean, we don't even know Silva. Silva could be a monster. He could come in there and just dominate Jourdain. We don't know. But overall, I think Jourdain's going to have a little bit of a speed advantage. And he's got a lot more experience and low-level confidence with Jourdain. Sometimes I just don't like the way he comes out in some fights. But he's going to be the pick in this one. I'm going to go for another underdog here, Waterson. I know everyone's expecting Robertson to take her down. I think Waterson has decent takedowns. Defense, I think she's going to be fast. She's going to be skirting around on the outside. She's going to be the better striker from the outside. It's going to be a close split decision. I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. Bueno Silva, super low level confidence, just because Chaisson's going to, if she keeps it on the outside, Bueno Silva can't finish her. She could win this on points, but Bueno Silva's going to be hungry, and if she gets a hold of her, even if they get into the clinch or on the ground, there's a lot of legs, and a lot of arms, and a lot of necks. Chaisson's very long and lanky. I think it's perfect for Bueno Silva for a submission. It's going to be the pick. And there you have it. You know, we'll see what happens with this. Like I said, take what you can from the board. Hopefully we nail it. So that's it. Hopefully this helped. I think it's going to be a great card. I'm going to go out and I'm going to watch this fight. It's going to be great. Hopefully we've nailed all of them. It'll be nice to hit 303 and hit 100%. 13 out of 13. Let's go for it, right? Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me. Hit like if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't, and you get notified when I put out the content. Unfortunately, it's a little all over the place. Otherwise, good luck in your picks. And by the way, if you let me know in the comments what you agree on and who you're thinking is going to win. If I'm a little off on this one, who you agree on, who you don't agree on, who you got money on. Yeah, for sure. And by the way, there's a buy me a coffee link in the description. If you win any money, throw me a tip, buy me a coffee. I'd appreciate it. Love coffee. Drinking it all the time. Otherwise, thanks for joining me and have a great weekend and good luck on your bets.